I can understand how a journey may be seen as a metaphor for life, a voyage through time as well as space, time seen as a road. I used to think that the novels I wrote were quite different from my travel books, that the travel books dealt with the outer world and the novels more with the inner landscape and my own feelings. But I think, in fact, that they're both haunted by a tension between the actual and the ideal, between what people dream about and what's really possible to them. An obsession with the horizon, I suppose, whether it's geographical or emotional. The sheer thirst of experience must be at the root of my travel instinct. As a young man, I couldn't conceive that I wouldn't by now have seen every beautiful and strange building and landscape on Earth, every different society. In the end, in my journeys, I think experience itself is the lure, which is fundamentally romantic, I suppose. I suspect artists have never quite grown up. As a young man, I ached for every kind of experience. I was distressed that I didn't fall committedly in love, not enough to marry. But later I fell in love like that. Certainly, there are things in my life which anyone might guess produce this restlessness. The death of my sister when I was 19, the end of a happy childhood. My falling deeply but one-sidedly in love with a woman more independent even than me. But I remember myself as always like this, even as a child, independent and dreamy. And still, at the age of 52, I go on feeling as if I'm on the brink of something, as if anything's possible, just round the bend in the road. I suppose that's called still being young. And I suppose that's how I'll end, still feeling that life's just started. I've always been haunted by the words of Isaac Newton, who discovered so much, and who said in old age that all his life he'd been like a boy playing on the seashore, while the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before him. I understand that. But the point, at least for other people, is what you discover along the way, what your restlessness produces. It's strange. It's almost as if I regard myself as two of me going. There's the one who's experiencing, the one who's travelling, the one who perhaps is suffering a bit, and there's the one who's, as it were, sitting on his shoulder, watching and saying, we're going to write about this. And even while the one who's experiencing is perhaps being interrogated by the police or suffering from heat stroke or getting food poisoned in a chaikhana, the one who's sitting on his shoulder is saying, this is good material. We can write about this. This is part of the personality of the country. This is a bit of reality. And I think what I fear as a travel writer is not that anything dreadful will happen to me, let alone anything good, but that nothing will happen at all.